I just received this Murphy bed kit from Wilding Wallbeds, and my initial impressions are great. There are really easy to follow plans, and everything looks really organized and clearly labeled. Because I'm going to be building some side shelving that's custom fit to the space, I did put the whole thing in SketchUp, and I made a full cut list that includes all the side shelving. But if you were just making the Murphy bed, you wouldn't really need to do this because the plans from Wilding Wallbeds really include all that already.
Probably one of the biggest parts of the project is breaking down the plywood. I'm just working by myself, and these large sheets of 3/4 inch plywood are pretty heavy and hard to handle. I'm making use of this track saw for the initial cuts to get the plywood into smaller pieces, and then wherever I can, I'm using my table saw for the final cuts. This track saw is relatively new to me. I splurged on it last year, but if you don't have one, just using a straight edge and a circular saw will work. Here's a clip from a previous project I did where I'm just using a simple straight edge and a small circular saw to break down plywood, and it works fine. As a DIY project, this step may be a bit intimidating, but I just tried not to rush through it and checked and double checked every cut for the right dimension and squareness. It took me several hours to get all of these pieces cut. I'm using a cabinet grade hardwood plywood. Some of the pieces are knotty alder to get the finish I'm looking for, but don't be deceived by the rustic look. This is good quality plywood. Here I'm putting edge banding on all the plywood edges that'll be exposed in the final assembly. The instructions from Wilding Wallbeds do a really good job of identifying which edges need edge banding, and also have a QR code link to a really good video on how to do it. I'm just using a household iron here, and I like these flush cut trimmers to cut the ends. I'm using this trimming tool. You really don't need this. There's lots of ways to do this, but I kind of like gadgets. Just be careful which one you buy. The steel blade ones get dull really fast. This one has carbide blades. I've used it a lot and it still seems pretty sharp. I'll leave a link in the description along with all the stuff I'm using in this video. Finally, just a little bit of cleanup with 220 grit on a sanding block. I want the bookcase shelves to be adjustable, so I'm drilling shelf pin holes. This jig makes it pretty straightforward. Just line up the first hole and drill it, and then use the pin to hold it in place to drill the remaining holes. To drill more holes, I just shift the jig and use the pin in one of the holes that I already drilled. There are several holes needed to mount the Murphy bed hardware. I'm just using the build plans here, making sure that I get the right hole locations. To make sure that my Forstner bit doesn't cause some splintering in the plywood, I first drill a small hole all the way through. And I start with the Forstner bit on one side, go about halfway through, then I turn the workpiece over and drill back through the other way. It's a nice clean hole with no splintering. And that's for the holes that need to be drilled all the way through. But there are some holes that are needed that don't go all the way through. The plans call for 5/8 inch deep. I'm being really careful to get the depth, but not go all the way through. Just iteratively checking how deep the hole is and creeping up on the right depth. So it all looks good at this point, but I discovered later after I finished it a bit of blistering on the other side because I went a little bit too deep. And also later, I realized that I probably didn't need to go the full 5/8 inch deep hole since the hardware only needs about half an inch. So a bit of a lesson learned here. There are a handful of small holes to be drilled all the way through, and just using the bed hardware itself as a guide, these holes are pretty straightforward. And while I've got these big side pieces up on my workbench, I go ahead and cut a notch to accommodate the baseboard on the wall that the bed will sit against. Some of the bed frame members need to be made of hardwood and not plywood, and also all of the trim pieces around the bed and the bookshelves will all be solid alder. I've got some alder hardwood left over up here somewhere from previous projects that I'm going to make use of. Just using the table saw and the miter saw to cut it all down to the right sizes. Some of the pieces from my scrap pile had a previous finish on it, and I want to strip all that off, so I'm making use of the planer to do that. After a lot of sanding on both the trim pieces and the plywood, Then I glue on some of the trim pieces to the main Murphy bed panels. The idea is to make it look kind of like two large shaker style doors. I'm staining and finishing a majority of the pieces before I assemble them. Halder is a wood that gets blotchy really easily with dark stain, and so I'm using this pre-stain conditioner to reduce the amount of blotchiness. This is a General Finishes Java Color Gel Stain. I like gel stains better than regular oil stains. I think they tend to be a little less blotchy. Then I spray on a lacquer clear coat. This could be brushed on if you don't have a sprayer, but it's just much faster with the spray gun. In between coats of lacquer, I sand really lightly with 320 grit sandpaper, and I put on a total of 3 coats of lacquer. I did this for all of the pieces, including all of the shelving, and because I have limited space on my workbench, it took me more than a week to get through it all. Here's a shot of the shelving pieces, and here's all the Murphy bed and trim pieces after stained and lacquer. For assembling the mattress box, I'm pre-drilling holes in the cleats and the stiffeners every 4 inches. Seems like a lot of screw holes to me, but it's what the plans from Wilding Wallbeds calls for. I'm first using a countersink bit, and then I go back with a through hole using a 3/16" drill bit. And I do this for all the stiffeners and all of the cleats. This is a pretty large workpiece to deal with, and also it's finished on the downside, so I'm being really careful to protect it from getting all scratched up. After lining it all up, then I just double check that it's all square. Starting with attaching the cleats to the side rails, I'm using wood glue along with 1 1/4 inch wood screws. With some double-sided tape, I attached some temporary spacer blocks just to make it easier to get the rails mounted exactly where they need to be. This long bar clamp just helps make sure that the panels are pulled together tight as I assemble the mattress box. Some brad nails help hold everything in place until I can get the screws in. I'm just slowly making my way around the mattress box until I get all the side rails installed. And the plans also call for some 2.5 inch wood screws at all of the corners. Next is to attach the stiffeners. Again, using a generous amount of wood glue along with a boatload of 1 1/4 inch wood screws. These are 4 inches wide, a little shy of 3/4 inches thick, and made from solid hardwood, not plywood. And the last step of assembling the mattress box are these reinforcement blocks where the pneumatic actuators will attach. I had left all of the pieces of the mattress box unfinished until it's all glued up. And I really don't want to stain all of the nooks and crannies, but I do think it needs some sort of finish. So I'm just doing a couple of coats of lacquer clear coat, and it's looking pretty good. This bed is going into my daughter and son in law's home office, and getting it moved over to their house was an adventure. Once we get it unpacked and laid out on the floor, it's time to install the hardware from the Murphy bed kit. Wilding Wallbeds did send me this DIY kit for my review, but I have no obligation to say anything good or bad, and everything in this video is completely my own perspective. That being said, I am really impressed with the design and quality of all the hardware. The kit is complete with all the screws, nuts, brackets, everything you need. The side panels easily attach at the pivot posts with some C-clips. And then just lift up the mattress box to just the right angle and the pistons snap in place on the ball studs. And it's a good thing that it's easy since we had to do it twice. I discovered at this point that I had mounted the pivot post inserts on the wrong side. We had to backtrack a bit and move those brackets. Installing the headboard, bridge board, and front fascia is really straightforward, just using the brackets included with the kit. The bar clamps here just help hold it in place while we get the screws in. It definitely takes two people to lift it up against the wall and position it to the exact location we want. This thing is super heavy, and it's incredibly important that it be secured to the wall at the studs. These brackets and screws are also included with the kit. We probably should have put the legs on earlier in the process, but it's not too late, and they mount with no problem, just as expected. So this is the complete standard Murphy bed as per the kit and plans from Wilding Wallbeds. And all the side shelving that we're about to install is custom fit to the space, just so the whole unit goes wall to wall and floor to ceiling. I'm attaching the shelves to the Murphy bed side panels with some screws, and then just use these little sticker thingies to cover the screw heads. The laser helps us get the wall shelving mounted perfectly level and a generous amount of screws into the studs to make sure they won't ever fall down. I'd originally cut all the trim pieces just slightly long, and now while Wyatt is carefully measuring and cutting them to the exact length, I'm installing them with a 23 gauge brad nailer. After putting all the shelves in place and then moving the dust back into the room, this thing looks awesome. It works perfectly, smooth and effortless, and makes great use of the space. Thanks so much for watching.